gentlemen, it's your host here, Joseph Kolaole Adebola. We still have a few more people to join us, so please still bear with us. We're trying as much as possible to get as many people in as possible because we feel it's not going to be fair on them to to leave them in there whilst we start. So please just bear with us for a couple more minutes. We will be starting very, very shortly. Thank you so very much. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is exactly 30 minutes past 4. Apologies for starting at 30 minutes late. So like I said earlier on, it was due to the fact that we have a lot of people in the waiting room, and we've managed to get as many as we can in now. And so please let's get cracking so that we don't belabor people who joined early. So once again, good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Kolaole Adebola. I'm your host today, and welcome to our weekly Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. Before we get started, can we please all remain standing for maybe a few seconds so that whilst we play our national anthem. Thank you so very much for being part of this conference. Thank you. So let's stand up for our national anthem, please. Everybody, and that was our national anthem. We have to give our country the due respect that it deserves. Thank you so very much for being part of this program. I welcome you all once again to the Renewed Hope Global Town Hall, Virtual Town Hall Conference. Today's conference is another special edition as we will be engaging with one of our leaders on the reforms taking place in the Ministry of Labor and Employment under the Renewed Hope agenda of this administration of President Tinubu. My co-host today, as usual, Jacob Oguche, Hajjare Rakia Bello Abubakar, Udeme Ukwe, Shombayewu, and Tosin Olayinka. They will be assisting me as usual in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberation. As usual, this conference is streaming live across the social media and especially on Ben TV, courtesy of the CEO of the first Nigerian African digital TV channel, Alistair Shoyode. Many thanks for your support and assistance always. In the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Virtual Town Hall Conference, I welcome you all to today's session. Special updates. We have a couple of updates. Once again, our website address, as you all know, is www.renewedhopeglobalconference.com, and our email is info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. We also have a YouTube channel. The link is posted in the chat room for anyone who would like to join. Same thing with our WhatsApp group too. All the details are on the chat room, and we have a dedicated telephone number for members and participants to use to send in their questions prior to every conference. And the telephone number is +44 758 695 1574. So let me just quickly go through the rules of engagement of the conference. All participants will remain muted until they have the floor to join in the discussion of the day. And any participant who wishes to participate by fielding a question to our guest of honor should please raise their hand by using the hand icon at the bottom of the screen. When you're given the floor to contribute, one of my co-hosts will unmute you, and please do have your video on, as we would like to see who is speaking to us. Firstly, introduce yourself and where you are joining from, followed by your question. And to ensure every participant have an equal opportunity to participate in our deliberation, every participant have 1 minute maximum to contribute to this conference. And please do go straight to the point, and so we can have save time and to give others a chance to participate. Please be advised that the system is programmed to mute you upon reaching the maximum 1 minute allowed. So do not be offended if this happens while you're still speaking. It simply means the time allowed is up, and we will move on to the next participant in the queue. Today, As always, you have a golden ticket for a participant who to speak for 3 minutes maximum. The winner of the golden ticket is chosen at random for amongst the participants that sent in their question prior to today, and he will have requested for such privilege. During the question and answer session today, we will be taking 3 or 4 questions from participants in a row. Then we'll yield the floor for our special guest of honor to respond to those questions. This is simply just to save time. Once again, I welcome you all to this Renewed Hope Town Hall Conference. Before we move on, please permit me, I wish to inform the House that our special guest of honor is in the conference room at the moment. And please permit me maybe a few seconds to read out her profile, which I found so intimidating for me, I must say. So let me start by saying our special guest for today is the Right Honourable Dr. Nkeiruka Onyejeocha. I hope I pronounced that name right. I like to be very firm with my names. Ph.D. OON. She is the Minister of State for the Ministry of Employment and Productivity. So the profile of our special guest of honor today goes as follows. Honorable Chief Mrs. Nkeiruka Onyejeocha is a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. She's the former Deputy Chief Whip, House of Representatives, and an epitome of humility and excellence. She was born to the family of His Royal Highness late Eze Bob Ogbonna of Abia State. Honorable Lady Onyejeocha has had her primary and secondary education in Iswochi Central School and Ovim Girls Secondary, respectively. Chief Lady Onyejeocha obtained a Bachelor of Arts BA Honors Second Class Upper Division from the prestigious University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Chief Lady Onyejeocha holds a master's degree in International Affairs and Diplomacy from the Imo State University. She holds another master's in Transport Management from the Ladoke Akintola University, Oyo. She also holds a Bachelor of Laws LLB degree from Abia State University and has been duly called to the Nigerian Bar after obtaining a Barrister at Law BL from the Council of Legal Education, Nigerian Law School. Honorable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha's strong appetite for knowledge was not yet quenched. She went further to obtain a doctorate degree in political science Ph.D. from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Apart from university degrees, Chief Lady Onyejeocha has also received many professional and social awards. To mention a few, Our Lady is 1, an officer of the Order of the Niger, OON. She is the Knight of John Wesley. She is the Knight of St. Mary, the Mother of Jesus, KSM. And she's also a member of the National Council of Women's Society, NCWS. And she's also an associate of the Chartered Institute of Shipping, ACIS, and an associate of the Institute of Personal Management, AIPM. Over the years, Honorable Onyejeocha's excellent performances in her home state endeared her to the heart of her people, and in recognition and appreciation of her contributions to their well-being, in particular, and societal development in general, the people accorded her high honors. Amongst these honors are prestigious Chief Statutory titles of 1, Adaeji Aga Aga Mba 1 of Umunneochi. I hope I pronounced that right too. Second Chief Statutory title is Onuna Ekuru Oha 1 of Uturu Ancient Kingdom. Thirdly, Adaugo 1 of Isikwato. And fourthly, Ochi Kara Ibe of Imenyi Ancient Kingdom. And 5, Ugo Ameke of Achara. And number 6, Omeziri Mba Imeofi of Uturu Ancient Kingdom. Apologies if I didn't pronounce any of that right. I'm a Yoruba man born in the north, so I'm a bit, even though I look like an Igbo person, there you go. So, Honorable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha has served as a Commissioner for Resources Management and Manpower in Abia State and as Chairman of Umunneochi Local Government Council. Believing in her capacity to do many more things that are significant to her people, in 2007, the people of Isikwato Umunneochi Federal Constituency, overwhelmingly elected Chief Mrs. Nkeiruka Onyejeocha to represent them at the Federal House of Representatives, Abuja, as a federal lawmaker, and they have continued to re-elect her to represent them. In 2019, Honourable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha was re-elected for the unprecedented fourth time. In the House of Representatives, she served as chairman of the House Committee on Women in Parliament and two-time chairman of the House Committee on Aviation, among other notable positions. In 2019, Honourable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha was elected as the Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, and in that position, she has continued to make giant strides in the betterment of women and Nigerians in general. And in August 2023, Honourable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha was appointed by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the Minister of State, Labour and Employment, making her the first female Labour Minister. Honourable Chief Mrs. Nkeiruka Onyejeocha is a dynamic, vibrant and well-informed lady whose records of accomplishments in the public and private sectors have left no one in doubt about the heights she has yet to attain. In politics, she has become an Iroko, which means first among equals, leading with a wide spectrum of national, regional, and local issues. These attributes and many more led to several distinguished awards, first of which is the most vibrant female legislator in Nigeria, secondly, Distinguished Fellow of the Institute for Public Diplomacy and Management, thirdly, Pilot Newspaper gave her an award as Astounding Female Legislator. Fourthly, the Authority newspaper also awarded her the Outstanding Female Legislator, and fifth, many other too numerous to mention. Honourable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha is the epitome of humility and service. These rare qualities have combined to set her on high as a positive influence and role model to many women in our society. These remarkable feats are all embedded in her struggles as an advocate of the people, a humanitarian, a visionary leader, and a lawmaker. Honourable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha is happily married and blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you her profile is intimidating even to myself. So I present to you Honourable Nkeiruka Onyejeocha, an advocate of the people, a humanitarian, visionary leader, a lawyer, and an extraordinary lawmaker, a former Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, and a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Once again, you are welcome to our conference, Your Excellency, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, sir, Vice J.K. Adebola and members of Renewed Hope for Nigerians Workforce Strategies for Sustainable Employment. Okay, members of Nigerians Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. Good evening, everybody. And I'm so pleased to be in your midst today. And I appreciate you for your kind words. And I have to say that you did very well. Of course, when you read what you are reading, we understand what you mean. So you didn't perform badly. Congratulations for being an Igbo man. So I have to say, this is a very noble initiative by Renewed Hope for Nigerians Virtual Town Hall Conference. This is the way to go, reaching where you can through virtual. It's very, very important that I acknowledge that it's no mean feat. And I welcome you to this deliberation, even though we are starting late, but I'll try and compress and make sure that the time is worth the stress. Well, I have to thank Mr. President first for finding me worthy to be in his cabinet. Growing up, going to school, living in Lagos, afforded me an opportunity to know him very well and what he stands for. And so at the time he appointed me Minister of State for Labor and Employment, people were like, oh, why will you go to Labor? Labor is the worst ministry. Well, Labor is not juicy. Labor is not. And I was looking at them. And while I was looking at these people, I was also seeing Asewaju. I saw him training people. I saw him picking people from the street. I saw him making people who nobody would have recognized, making them become very great people in society. And I was looking at Ministry of Labor. They were saying, oh, don't take it. Oh, these people want to put you down. Oh, after betraying you to go for fifth term, you won your election. Oh, they did. And all those things. I wasn't hearing them, but I was looking at Asewaju. I was seeing Asewaju as a governor. I was seeing Asewaju even when local government funds was not released, how he turned the whole Lagos to development centers and really developed it. And I was seeing a labor that people say, oh, don't accept that this place can turn it. And of course, when I had it, I just knelt down and thank God and said, God, I know you. You will put me where I will be able to add value. So it's not about whether a place is juicy or not. The call from God is that you have to do what he has sent you to do. And so you don't have choice. And then looking at the man who gave me the job, I know that Spirit of God that is also leading him, that labor needs a kind of touch that will make the difference in the society we are in now. And that brings me to what the Ministry of Labor aims to do. Number one, it aims to ensure relations between workers and employers in the public and private sector is safe. So it's not a place you just put anybody. You have to put somebody that is focused on making sure that right things are done. And then secondly, it also is a place that they have to formulate policies that will drive government, because you're dealing with people whose life depends on the workforce. Because if the workforce is not right, the life of the government will not be right. Can you imagine where every day you are antagonizing government, you're downing tools, and the place is so volatile? How would the government operate? Yeah. So those are the mandates of Labor Ministry. And of course, dispute resolution between the union, trade union, and government and workers and their colleagues is also very, very important, because you need an environment that will yield increase to policies of government. So I decided that, listen, I need to make a difference. And so I took the mandate of Ministry of Labor and Employment. And when I went through it, I found out that even what we think and have this pain every day, that people will come into this country and then they take our people to do work for them, and they don't even recognize the fact that they are working, and they put them into inhuman treatment, that the Ministry of Labor is supposed to take care of those issues. That we don't just complain and allow people to do what they want to do in our country, that we should make our country to be our country, where people will come and respect our people. And so if people are coming here and we are giving them licenses to do business, and then they don't respect our workers, that Ministry of Labor should be able to handle that. And that brought me to my first 6 months in office, that around September, we had to travel all the way to Shagamu to visit a factory who had neglected all the rules, all the norms of the rules of engagement in workplace. And of course, when people came with sentiments, oh, if you close them, that you sack workers, I said, but you don't kill our workers. If you sack workers, they don't have work and they're alive, and people do the right thing and then come back to work tomorrow. It's safer and it's better for us than not doing the right thing. And so that we have to close the factory. I can't come here and see people producing battery, and then our people are mixing lead with bare hands. There is no kit. The environment is rubbish. And I will ask them, I said, listen, in your country, can you take this as a factory? I said, first and foremost, you have to come and redesign your factory. You have to bring all the safety gadgets. You have to floor the floor. You have to tar the floor. Under dust and everything, people are mixing lead, and they were eating inside the factory. They don't even have a cafeteria. I didn't see any convenience. And if you see the office, they call their own office of MD. It's like a shackle. And so even if when you're leaving, we don't get anything from you. I said, put your structure first. So even if you're leaving tomorrow, at least we inherit structure. You don't come and put Paco and make millions of naira and then, or billions, and then the environment is so unsafe that people are getting cancer. And in that community, it was reported that every other day, people die of such diseases that is caused by the environment they find themselves in. And so we closed the factory. And if we don't do that, we will not have healthy environment. Yes, the company tried to do what they think they can do in Nigeria, but it was difficult for them to do it. Within 2 weeks, the owner of the factory had to come from his country and pleaded. I say, okay, I'll give you just 1 week. All the things you can provide it in 1 week. Of course, they took 2 weeks later and they fixed everything. And the factory, if you go there now, they are also even happy because the place became conducive for them. And so, because under Ministry of Labor, one department that is very critical is OSH, Occupational Safety and Health, where they register factories in this country. They supervise factories and they renew their licenses. And so even the Ministry of Labor, they can earn revenue for the country. But what has happened, because people believe it's Nigeria, nothing will work. But I said, things have to work. And I charged the Occupational and Safety Health Department that you must go digital. You must digitalize your payments. You want everything you do. I can press button from my office and see all the factories in Nigeria. That even the payment of dues and whatever has to be collected by not cash, like you go and pay somebody somewhere and say you're bringing receipt. You have to digitalize even your payment. You must have an e-platform where these revenues are collected and accounted for. And so we have been working hard and making sure that these things has happened. And over this last 1 year, and of course, we inherited the period of minimum wage because people are interested in minimum wage. But the truth of the matter is that it's a matter of law. It was due at the time the government, our government came in place. And so it's not as if it was President Tinubu that was owing workers or anything. It was a matter of law that after certain number of years, the salaries and wages will be reviewed. And so that's what it is. I have to put it straight here. That people say, oh, we talk about minimum wage. No. What happened was that at the time that we came in was when it was due. And so we had to go into that negotiation. And it's on record that by God's grace, the issue was resolved, and today we have a new minimum wage. And so that's briefly, but I will yield the floor for for you to guide us the process that this will take. I'm excited because I know that we've wasted time, so I'm trying to like maybe catch up the case. So
thank you so very much, Honourable Minister. I like the way you just delve into this without even waiting for any prompt. That shows your passion for the ministry that you had and the passion for Nigeria, and especially for the welfare of Nigerian workers, because it shows in some of the reforms that you just discussed now, which was part of the question I would have asked you, the reform in ensuring that you digitalize processes, because for those of us living in diaspora, we always knew all along that one of the problems that we have in Nigeria is we're still in analog kind of way of doing things, and that sort of creates more issues and gives room for more cutting corners and stuff like that. People call it corruption, call it whatever you want, but once you go digital, it reduces majority of all these problems that we have. So thank you so very much for bringing that about. And I like the idea of you taking the bulls by the horn with the factory that you said you closed. Because when you were saying that, I was thinking in my mind, that this is somebody who takes the welfare of workers as paramount, more than the profit maximization that businessmen think about. For me, this is one of the things that we expect from our leaders, and thank you so very much, ma'am, for bringing that to bear in your ministry. So let's just go straight to my question, because I will ask you, the way we work is I will ask you the first question, then I'll yield the floor to the members to begin to throw their questions at you. We have somebody who we have given a golden card. What that means is he probably maybe has a proposal for you that he wants you to look at. And if it's something that you think will help your ministry, then you can have some kind of tete-a-tete with that person. And if it means maybe inviting them over to have more discussion, that's your prerogative to do. So we'll do that after this my question. So I will only ask you just one question, because you've answered most of the things that I wanted to ask you. So that has constrained me now. I'm just going to throw one question at you, which has to do with the theme of today. Because we all know that since this government came in, a lot of policies have been churned out, one of which you alluded to here, which is aimed at ensuring that we create job opportunities for our most Nigerians, especially our youth. And one of such policies is the Renewed Hope Labor Employment and Empowerment Program, otherwise called LEAP. And this was announced during the 64th Independence Day celebrations. And from my readings about it, I found out that a key aspect of LEAP, as I understand it, is its alignment with one of the core mandates of your ministry, the Federal Ministry of Labor, Employment and Productivity, which is essentially job creation. And I just want you to give us an overview of this and other policies of this administration and the challenges, because I know you must have faced some challenges since you came in. Every minister we've had on this program have always had one challenges or two or even three or more to talk about, and I know you are no exception as far as Nigerian landscape is concerned. So what are the challenges that you faced especially in the implementation of what looks to me like a radical reforms that you brought on since you came in, which, from what you said now, seems to be showing some kind of dividend? And what are the successes that has been recorded in the last 1 year? Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, I will start from the successes.
Okay.
The successes is that we were able to negotiate the minimum wage, because it's not easy. No matter how anybody look at it, it's not easy for president to give us the platform and give us a lot of encouragement and support to be able to pull it through. Because without his support, no matter what we do, we will end up in grammar.
Yeah.
But because he was determined that the workers have to be settled first,
yeah,
and in the first year. So he supported us in every aspect that we desire and we require support, and he was able to pull through. And I have to say it here, the delay caused by the implementation, because they say, oh, that we were trying to take shortcuts, and that's why we didn't start. I have to make this clarification here. After passage of the minimum wage, there's a committee that's supposed to sit for the consequential adjustment, which is consequential adjustment committee. That one is not headed by executive, by the ministers or SGF or the people who, the committee that sat on minimum wage. It's another committee headed by bureaucrats, the civil servants, headed by the head of service. But you know, because head of service just took over around the time the minimum wage was passed, I guess she was trying to then settle in office, which caused a big delay. And I apologize for that little delay that made people to start agitating. And that was why the Ministry of Labour called a town hall meeting last month to brief the stakeholders and then the organized labor and the organized private sector that the consequential committee will or have started sitting, and that in a week's time that they will be able to come with the consequential figures. And so that's that. And then for the places we visited, we found out that everybody, knowing that you can your factory can be closed, they started complying with regulations, because our team continued moving around, and where we find any person going foul of the labor law, we sanction them. So there are more sanctions, and there are more people complying, avoiding further sanctions. So it may not be seen, or maybe because we have told them that most things they have to now tell the world to know what they do, because knowledge is power. They have to go with a media team to make sure that those places that they cover, the people that comply, the people that are sanctioned, that they make it known to the public, so they know that labor ministry is not just about labor union and strike and all that. There are other things that we do. And so challenges we have is paucity of fund. You know, there's no way you create employment without without funds. Labor ministry is underfunded. That's the truth, because you every day you send people away. They have to have vehicle to go around, and I don't know the last time that the Ministry of Labour got vehicles, and of course manpower. And labor ministry have to get more people employed, because they have a lot of departments, and most of their works are training, empowerment, going to meet people. And labor is a ministry that is grassrooted from baseline. So, but they don't have enough workforce. That's the truth. So I plead that we get waiver to employ more people to be able to be in the field to cover. And another thing is obsolete laws, which we are working. Some of those laws are with the Ministry of Justice as we speak. But I know in the couple of weeks, we have to expedite action to make sure that these laws are passed. We have a friendly National Assembly, and I know that they will give us cooperation to pass those laws with speed of light. Because even when you talk about sanction, and then somebody causes an infraction, and then what you're going to charge is 10 naira, at most 100 naira. They'll keep doing what they're doing as far as it's shortcut to make money. Because disobeying law most of the time is to make more money, so that they don't go through the route. But if you don't have enough strong laws that will deter people. What's the essence of the law? If a law is made and that law is not a deterrent to obedience, then you don't have a law. Yeah. So it's very important that we work on our laws, not just on labor ministry. Most ministries still have obsolete laws. And so I believe that most ministers will agree with me that they have to change those laws to meet the standard we are living. And of course, the challenges, I've gone around the 6 geopolitical zones, and I found out that labor have these structures, but those structures are moribund. Like we are launching LEAP. If we are going to start, of course, remote work, you have to have places that these people will come and work. You must have a conducive office that will have internet. Most of our offices, they don't have. Most of our offices, in short, they don't even have chairs. They don't have anything. So we need to, if you say you want to go and build structures now, you're not facing reality. You have to live in the reality that we find ourselves in. So we have to refurbish most of these offices. We went around, collected pictures, interviewed people. And of course, the reason is because we have still operate envelope system. Envelope system is a place where the budget and planning gives you what you should spend. So for instance, if I'm supposed to renovate an office with 500,000 naira, 500 million naira, and then they give me an envelope of 20 million naira. In most cases, they will say, okay, 100 million naira. But you have 36 state offices, all of them the same way, because the people who implement budget, what they do is that they will come and say, okay, they gave us 500 million. We asked for 500 million. They gave us maybe 100 million. Then they will come and share it. Abia, 10 million. Anambra, 10 million. Zamfara, 10 million. Lagos, 10 million. Kaduna, 10 million. That's the kind of budget we inherit in labor. I said, why are you doing it? Why don't you just do one? They said, because of federal character. There are people who say, oh, they favor one state and they don't. So in that 10 million, they will come and use one bucket of paint and share it. So you're still where you are. 5 years down the line, you have not even changed one window. So the type of budget we run, which is envelope system, and then not looking at the issues the way they are. I told them, I said, listen, instead, if we ask them for money, let us ask them for money. We say, okay, we are doing 2 centers this year. You give us money for the 2 centers. When we do 2 centers, we make sure that those 2 centers have all it takes to take every program that we are doing, so that we'll be able to track how many number of people that we have employed, how many number of people that are still unemployed under Ministry of Labor. And mind you, that Ministry of Labor was supposed to account for every unemployed Nigerian. That's their mandate. And MDS supposed to upload their vacancies in the Ministry of Labor, because we are the custodian of employment. You tell us who the number of employment under the NELEX platform, which by the grace of God, that we have found favor in the eyes of the president to launch the LEAP, where we'll be able to work on the NELEX. Because NELEX is a National Electronic Labor Exchange, where all the unemployed people supposed to upload their CVs, where MDAs supposed also to upload their vacancies. So it will not be issue of I know anybody. We'll go there and then matchmake, upload CVs to these agencies, so they will choose. And it will afford us an opportunity to have the number of people that have been employed. That's why I'm partnering with CNG. Because I told them that government is doing a lot. But because if they don't involve labor, we will not know when 1,000 people are taking up the streets. It will not have record. Another person comes and do something, there is no record. You give 5 million people food under intervention or anything. Nobody records this because our mandate is where you track this record. Because even the white collar job, the unskilled, we are supposed to have records of it so that at every quarter, we'll be able to tell the world, this is the number of people that have been affected by the goodwill of the president and the policies of government. And so I believe that getting these things right through LEAP will be able to get back to track, because I believe that labor is #1 ministry in the world, because it's catering for human beings, it's catering for workforce, it's catering for the safe environment of the nation. Because when labor is working with government, everything will fall in place. Yeah. Because if it doesn't, there's so much distraction. And our government hope government does not need any distraction.
Thank you so very much, your Honourable Minister, for that elaborate response to my question.
Mind you that the LEAP program is meant to provide at least 2.5 jobs in a year. 2.5 million jobs in a year.
Okay. Or has that been achieved now, or is it still a job in progress?
It's job in progress because by God's grace, the president have assured us that he will launch the LEAP program by end of this month. You understand, where through the LEAP you have a digital nomads pillar, would develop talents and make sure that we bring expertise to the training. Because prior to this time, you know, the kind of training that we have is training that you just gather people, whether they like to train or they don't like to train. Oh, government is doing something. Come. They will come, train them 2 weeks, and they give them 20,000. And immediately after the training, you see them in that junction, they will declare for beer. So we don't want that kind of training anymore. We want a training that will be streamlined. Yeah. You have to love what you want to train.
Yes.
If it's sewing, we'll put, after the structure we are setting, we put you somewhere and we get professional and train you for sewing. So that we can even export whatever you sew to other African countries or to Europe. Yeah. We employ you to sew for the country. We are not going to do training that when we train, somebody will carry our sewing machine to say and go and sell it for 5,000 naira. So the training we are doing is the training that we buy equipment. We send people who want to be tailors. You know, when you want to be something, you don't train and run away. Yeah. So instead of pushing these people to the street and start causing nuisance, you leave them there. They'll come there and be sewing. We employ them because, of course, once we set this LEAP in running form, we are supposed to have all it takes to train people and retain them. Yeah. People can come to us and source for professionals. We can export these people to go all over the world and still earn revenue for our country. Because if I train you and you're a professional and I give you certificate, we will also go out and look for jobs for them. Yeah. If they are going and they are going somewhere, government can be taking some percentage. I mean, meanwhile, they are working. Yeah. If it's in agriculture that we have a hub and we train people for agriculture, is it not food that they will be producing?
It's true.
All over the world, you have food stamp. Labour Ministry can provide food stamp for vulnerable people instead of even giving them this money. And we use that money to train people. Because the truth is that the people you're giving money, till tomorrow, we've not even found them. Where are they? Are they accepting that they're giving them money? Put the money where you will see it. You will see that somebody is being trained, somebody is graduating, somebody is being employed. You come here and you see the person. The person wants to go and open his own. He will sign an agreement for us now. In a month, you will make 1 million naira. You are paying back maybe something to Ministry of Labour. Remind you, we have trained you now. You understand? Yeah. So Labour will also be adding some cash to our GDP. Everywhere you work these days is supposed to be bringing money to the government. Yes. Because we are starting from scratch. We are not employing, we are just employing people who will be training them. But most of the people are untrained and they don't have money. So we provide the equipment, we provide the logistics, and then you will still stay and work for us.
Yeah.
Okay. People are saying no food, no food, no food. If all the people that are roaming around decide that, because the truth of the matter is that no job is dirty. Agriculture is not dirty. You understand? I wear my farming clothes. I go to the farm. In the evening, I'll still come and rub my powder. So what's the big deal there?
It's true. It's true. Thank you so very much, your Honourable. I think,
and we're also planning. The Ministry of Labour is also planning job fair because we know that as we speak, there are people who are looking for jobs, and there are people who are looking for people to employ.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So we like professional, like NELEX. Once, because we are working, as I speak now, we have started working on NELEX. By the day we launch it, it will be highly optimal, so that Nigerians will go there and make use of it, log in your CV, log in your vacancies and all that. So after launch of League, we are going to launch a job fair where we are bringing private sectors to come to a place, and then we'll bring unemployed youths. They will come and then they'll start talking to each other. They will come there and then do their interview. After that job fair, we are targeting that at least we'll take not anything less than maybe like thousands of jobs off the street. Because there are companies today who are looking for who to employ.
Yes.
And when they advertise in newspaper or this thing, they may not have access to those things. But if we bring them in a roof and then see our unemployed youth, see the people who are looking for jobs, talk to each other. When they did it first time, like during the last administration, I went there as an honorable member under the Committee on Labour. We saw some tremendous improvement because some people were employed from that place. And this opportunity that they wouldn't have gotten if we didn't provide that opportunity. So Ministry of Labour is insisting that we must change the narratives. We must make sure that it will be the Ministry of Labour that is seen all over the world. We go to ILO, we go to conferences. Everywhere you see Ministry of Labour, they treat them the way they treat Minister of Finance here. Everybody wants to be with the Ministry of Labour. And I'm like, why are you people following the minister like this? They say, this is in our place, Ministry of Labour is like Ministry of Economy.
Yeah.
And that's where we want to take Labour to.
Thank you so very much, your Honourable Minister. I think I quite agree with you there when you said the Ministry of Labour is perhaps the most important ministry in the whole world. The reason I agree with you is because you deal with what we call human capital.
Yeah.
And no economy grows without human capital. And even when you have that human capital, they have to be employable for them to be useful to the country and to the economy. And in that regard, I need to say this now. The person who gave a golden card today is one of the people who can partner with you and help, because I can see that from what you're saying now, you are providing an enabling environment for unemployed youths in the country to be able to be gainfully employed. So that is where we in the Renewed Hope global team comes in to be able to help to partner with you to ensure that all our unemployed youths are, because not all unemployed youths are employable. That's the fact.
Yes.
Yeah. This is where people like the man who will be talking to you later today, and we have a couple of them from America and from Canada too, who are seasoned trainers. These are people who are ready to partner with your ministry to ensure that we help you in your quest to providing this enabling environment for our unemployed youth, so that they will make them employable. Because I've seen graduates in Nigeria who are not, they have no soft skill. All they have is just that certificate, but then that certificate is useless if you don't have some kind of soft skills to go with it. So this is where we will be partnering with you. I'm sure when the man who has the golden card speaks with you, I'm sure you'll be able to drive one of things from it. After this program too, myself and the team would like to speak with you too and introduce certain personalities to you, not just in the UK. We have them in America and we have them in Canada too. They are eager to do as much as they can to help your ministry to achieve your aims and your goals. Trust me on that. We will do our possible best to make sure that we help, because I can see the passion in you, and I can see that this is a minister who breathes and wakes up with the quest to ensure that the country moves with its workforce. And nothing will gladden us more than to ensure that you succeed. So we will do whatever we have to do, madam, to help you.
Even as we speak, under Ministry of Labour, but that's with NDE, they still train graduates.
Yes, they have to.
You understand? They still train graduates to be able to, because the truth is that we've told them that, because we attend trade fairs where the youths come, because once you do trade fair, the youths come to ask why, when they will start employing them, and we will try to tell them that employment is not just for white collar, like the people who are doing shoe or something. If graduates decide to take those vocations, they prosper more than people who are not educated.
Yes.
And we show them samples of the people that we facilitated their loan, and then they are doing something. And those are those people that we showcase during trade fair. And discouraging that most of them take on, and then we ask the coordinator in their state to liaise with the Bank of Industry to give them soft loans. And the women also, they return the part of the loan even before the timeline.
Wow.
So I'm encouraging the boys to also do that. But my record shows that the women returns faster.
And not to be resourceful, I'm sure.
So
thank you so very much, my minister. I think we are in tune with you with all your programs, and we'll do what we have to do to help. So let me now yield the floor now to my co-host, who will then go through, because we have a couple of hands. I think we'll probably start with the man who has the golden key, the golden card today. So I'll yield the floor to Honourable Jacob Ogushe now to call the first two people who will then we use the floor for you to respond to them. Thank you so very much. Jacob Ogushe, you have the floor now.
Good evening, sir, my chief host, Pastor J.K. Adebola. Thank you for all you do every week. I know the grace of God for to sustain on this program. Let me once again welcome our special guest, our Minister of State for Minister in the Ministry of Labour and Employment. I welcome you, man. Thank you for honoring this invitation. And I know by the time you are leaving today, it will be a very memorable experience. Let me begin by calling this next person online. That is Alhaji Adams Edauda. That is the person that they have been told that has a golden card for this weekend. Alhaji Dauda has requested for an extra time. So I think he will be talking to you longer than 1 minute. And then I think he has a little bit of a proposal that he wants you to look at. Probably as my host has said, we might be talking to you later. But now, Alhaji Dauda, can you please unmute and take over, please?
Yeah, good evening, Honourable Minister. Thank you for honouring our invitations. Thank you, the chief host and the co-host. My name is Alhaji Adams. I reside in London, but I'm a product of Lagos State. Our proposals, because I've been with this for a long time, I've been reading it for a long time, since the manifesto comes out. So the proposal we're going to put in front of you today is developing the soft skills and competency among the artisans for sustainable employment. Because a lot of us have used artisans in Nigeria and we know the qualities of each of them. Soft skill is missing. The hard skill might be there, but the soft skill is missing. So our proposal will seek to enhance the soft skill of artisans, complementing their technical abilities with a focus on 9 points: effective communication and sales techniques for the market development, access to finance and opportunities, a budget preparations and cash flow management, which is now digital currency flow, quality assurance and control for their job, because I have seen it. The quality control is not there for many artisans. Health and safety, and you've mentioned this as well. Health and safety and environment sustainability is very important. We're talking about our mechanic, how they display the oil, the gear oil, or the oil they change from the cars. Compliance with the regulatory requirements and industry standard, tax law, business law. As you said before, this law needs to be looked at. International compliance law. So managing ethical and cultural values in a client relationship to build trust and respect in terms of our mining. So the mining area, so which is in different area of the country. Number 8, continuous professional educations and development to keep artisans up to date with the industrial trend. This we call the CPD, continuous professional development. And we mentioned the training as well. Creating a pathway for the certification and professional recognition to elevate the status of the workforce. Things like local business clubs that these artisans can go to, and they'll get a CPD as they attend the meetings. So my question to you, Honorable Ministers, will you consider this program a valuable complement to the technical hard skills of artisans, thereby contributing to the sustainability, employment, and economic growth envisioned by your ministries and industrial training fund? We believe that developing these competencies, artisans will not only enhance their employability, but also contribute meaningfully to the economy, helping to realize the broader visions of a skilled and resilient workforce. Within the SME, this program will enable the SME development, which will employ more people. And when they want to employ more people, I'm talking about someone who is a machinist or industrial machinist producing tools. They need industrial capable machine. That will cost about maybe 5 million or 20 million. So they need a finance. So a lot of things will be done. Discounting invoicing, yeah, managing the customers. Yeah, a lot of business will come in. I myself, I come from the technical side. Yeah, so I'm an IT by profession, but when I get into industry and dealing with boards, then I have to understand the business. So the business side is very important as well. If we want to develop, not just for the employment, for them to create employment. So thank you, Honorable Minister, for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I thank you for the question. I believe hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. The job of developing Nigeria is such that all hands must be on deck. And that's why your program, even though it's hosted from diaspora, is getting a lot of attention back home here. And ministry have already adopted this strategy. And that was why we came up with LEAP. That LEAP is labor, employment, and empowerment program. Number one item in that LEAP strategy pillars is digital skills, where we are focusing on enhancing digital literacy to meet demands of evolving global job market. That answers what you submitted now. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
I said that the job of job creation and developing Nigeria, this country, has to be the job of everybody. And I said that prior to this time, to what he's saying, it is our own thinking too. That's why you have the LEAP strategic pillars. And number one is digital nomads. And we said digital skills, focusing on enhancing digital literacy to meet the demands of the evolving global job market, which means we have captured it in our curriculum if it's Ministry of Education. So we are glad to hear that somebody is thinking what we are thinking. So we are calling for collaboration from all our people around the world to come home and help us succeed and make sure that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President is fulfilled to the later.
Oh, thank you very much. So do we take it that the gentleman, is free to come and maybe discuss more in details with you regarding this?
Why not? Why not?
Okay, so
but he has to pay his ticket too. We don't have money with him.
Okay, we'll talk about that after the program. We'll talk about that. Anyway, thanks for the invitation, because it means a lot to us to see, because I've always said it that this crop of leadership that we have now are the most receptive that we've ever had in a very long time, because every time we invite our leaders here and they see someone who comes up with a program that deals with the renewed hope agenda, there's always, we've got about 3 or 4 people that have been invited to come to Abuja now with their program so that they can have a discussion with the minister. And somewhere along the line, they tend to, even though they have that on their programs before, there's always another angle that we can, the people from diaspora can bring into it to make sure that it becomes more potent. So I guess maybe that is where people in diaspora comes in. So we'll be talking after this program, madam, so that we will, that connection will be made, so that the gentleman will be able to see you easily without any bureaucracy. The Nigerian.
Oh, there's no protocols.
Yeah.
We don't have protocols. We see because you see, we are we are for the whole Nigerians, and especially the downtrodden, the labor force and everything. So if you do protocols, they will protest that.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so very much for that, ma. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much. So, Honorable Ogusha, you still have the floor now. Thank you.
Sorry, ma. Sorry, sir. Maybe I can just move ahead now and call on Baba Femi Mark Olupeyi-son. So if you are if you are on there, please come on mute and have the floor, please. Baba Femi Mark Olupeyi-son. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. It says I can't do the video. The host is not letting me.
Yes, all right, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I also want to thank you for all the things that you've done. My name is Baba Femi Mark Olupeyi-son. I'm calling from the United Kingdom, outside London. Just a bit about myself. I'm a retired British Army officer, served in British Army, and I've left. I'm going to go straight to the question before I say the other thing. And my question is one of the things that has been eluded a lot of time. And one of it is, what are the concrete steps in which your ministry or yourself is taking to address the persistent issue of child labor in Nigeria? And is there a timeline that you envision that this is going to come to a reduction? And the only reason we look at it is because of the child labor. People could look at it and think it comes into your ministry rather than going to Ministry of Humanitarians. And the other side of my question would be some of the easy way people could get to you and other ministers from abroad is on social media. I did send some couple of things on your Twitter, which you acknowledged, and suddenly I realized that I could no longer send some certain things in there. Maybe it was blocked, or maybe your social media guy is still the same name and you see it on social media on Twitter. Thank you very much for everything you've done, and thank the host as well.
Excuse me, please. Hello?
Yes.
Hello. Yes, can you repeat the question on the social media issue?
So I said one of the easiest way people can reach out to you guys in authority is on social media. But again, we can understand that there's so many people that you may not be able to go through whatever messages that you sent. I did send a message to you a couple of months ago. You did acknowledge it. And I think I sent a further one, and it said you can no longer send message to this address. And that's just me out of so other many people that might come across. So I'm just trying to say that is the easiest way people could reach out to you.
Okay, so that one I will cross-check with the social media department, and then find out if it's anything has to do with maybe processes or anything. I don't think that would do deliberately say you can no longer send, but we cross-check and then rectify if there's an error.
Okay.
For child labor, we have a department of what's just the term of this? We have a department in charge of that, and they have worked assiduously to make sure that we have done a lot of child labor to eradicate during the last couple of months, especially the last 1 year, to the extent that our queries were rectified during the last ILO conference in Geneva. What is left now is to take the rectified copy to National Assembly, and I know that Mrs. Olaito, who's the head of that department, had worked assiduously, and then they're working on the last document to take to National Assembly, where we'll get the laws passed on the prohibition. So a lot has been done, and I know that we have progressed positively, because I was at the last ILO conference where some queries were cleared on Nigerian issue. So we are keeping our eyes of it, and we are not joking on issues of child labor. What I'm sure that what we need to work on is those laws that will sanction people who have refused to agree to the norms that have been stipulated.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I give the floor back to my chief host, I have a personal question for you, ma'am. Now, the situation in Nigeria is that minimum wage is actually, the way I see it, for instance, is applicable mostly to the government workers and those people who are probably the real established organizations. Now, I think minimum wage should be applicable to everybody, every individual who works in the Nigeria system. Let me say, for instance, in this country, for instance, we have minimum wage system. I'm speaking from UK. Now we have minimum wage system. We are a cleaner, a healthcare worker. The list of the jobs, they earn is at least minimum wage. Now I want to ask a situation. Are we going to have the same thing in Nigeria, whereby a security guard at the gate in that rich man's house, a teacher in that poor primary school, just all those people are the lowest end, just the lowest end. Are they going to be having the same access to the same minimum wage, or this minimum wage is particular to just federal government workers, state government workers, or local government workers, and the bankers and the likes? That's my question.
You know, there are laws guarding various countries. It's good that everybody gets it, but in Nigeria everybody cannot, because everybody is not in a working environment where they'll be able to pay 70,000. In Nigeria, is when you have a certain number of employees that you are mandated to pay the minimum wage. You understand? So a cleaner or a gardener or a gatesman in somebody's gate that his salary is 150,000. How would he pay 70,000? So it's not for everybody, but it's for category of people, for category of employers who have certain number of employees in their own company that is mandated to pay the minimum wage. And you also know that we operate a federative unit in subnational. So the law says the minimum. So you can decide to pay 100. And also get men who are being paid 100,000, 150,000. You understand? And what the law says is the minimum one can pay. So it's not, for now, you don't have a law that says everybody, no matter who you are. Our economy is not such that we can hear that. For instance, what you're saying is that all the labor leaders, all the megad will be paying 70,000. Would they be able to pay? So there's issue of being able to pay, ability to pay, or desirous to pay. Everybody wants to get maximum wage. But you know that this minimum wage is for vulnerable, for number one. You understand? You know you have grade 1, grade 2, for grade 1. You understand? This grade 1 people, they did not go to school. You understand? So they are at that level. There's no graduate that is under the level of minimum wage. Graduates start from level 8. You understand? So apparently in UK, I don't know how they do it, but in Nigeria, I don't think it will be sustainable to anybody to suggest that, because if you go down your street, there are people who can't pay even 30,000. But they have people who don't have anywhere to stay, who have decided to work with them for a certain amount of money. So that's what it is for now.
So, ma, I think that's fine, man. Now I'll go back to you, sir, my host. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Honourable Ushe, for that. And thank you to our ministers, too, for fielding those questions and for the elaborate responses to it. Let me move swiftly to the next co-host, Honorable Udeme Ukwe. Are you ready? While Tosiola Yinka should be on standby. Honorable Udeme Ukwe, are you ready?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever you joined us from. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for gracing this virtual conference. We are really elated to have you, and just listening to you today has really blown my mind. I reside in the United Kingdom. And I come from, well, I work as a project manager for a rail industry, a rail company, and we take health and safety very, very seriously. And you talking about health and safety is just put my mind at rest in terms of what the ministry is doing to ensure that the minimum standard at least for health and safety, not just in the factories, in the warehouse, in the distribution industry, but in places like the rail industry, transport, aviation, and some other places, some other critical places, building, construction sites, health and safety, they are taken very, very seriously. We have a couple of hands on, so I will take two questions. The first one will be from Deborah Fatogun. Deborah Fatogun, please can we unmute Deborah Fatogun? And then the next one will be from Jalil Aziz. Jalil Aziz, please get ready. Deborah Fatogun, please, your question for the Honorable Minister.
Hello. 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 Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. Please can you put the video on? Thank you, Honorable Minister, for honoring our invitation. And I thank our chairman, the host of this event. My question is about the Nigerian National Insurance Trust Fund under your ministry. I just want you to throw a light on it, what it stands for, and what is going on under that ministry. And the other side of my question is that we thank you very much for making it possible for the minimum wage to come through. And we thank God that the states are now complying, but nobody has paid. I just want to ask whether the federal government has started paying the minimum wage. Thank you. That's my question.
Thank you. Thank you, my sister. The NSITF is a trust fund that's derived from 1% of workers' salary. And what is it meant for? It's meant for compensation of workers, whether it is injury or at death. What is unique in this one is that if people are injured, with that fund, they can take them to hospital, they can get treatment and all that. But if it's at death, they will pay the beneficiary of the disease and train the child, the last child, until the child is 21 years. So that's what they do. And then whether the federal government had started paying minimum wage. I know that some states have started paying minimum wage, and I know that as a last check, that the Ministry of Finance are compiling all the instruments, and the workers started receiving their salaries as at last month.
Thank you.
You understand what I said about trust fund?
Yes, I do. I do. And I'm happy about it. And I just hope that it works for everybody.
Everybody cannot get a job, and everybody cannot die.
No, you mean it's for workers, isn't it?
It's for workers. It works for every worker. Huh?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it's for people that have a role. You know, as I speak, that half of the workers in the Nigerian workplace have not enrolled. So that's what the new AP is going from one office to the other corporation. And even it's not just for government workers. Even every private sector are supposed to involve.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for that. My next question would come from Jalil Aziz, who is one of the participants. Can you please, any of the co-hosts, unmute Jalil Aziz? Jalil Aziz, you have the floor now.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Am I being heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good afternoon, Madam Honorable Minister. The chief host, J.K. Adebola, just mentioned about the employability of most of our graduates, which I quite agree with. Is there any collaboration between your ministry and Ministry of Education in terms of what skills are required? Because I'm saying this because I don't know what becomes of our technical colleges, where people are trained with plumbing, all manner of soft skill, that kind of, which can be very, very handy to them. Because I come to understand that most of our people, they are just being fixated about, I want to go to university, without even knowing what becomes of their qualification upon finishing, instead of looking for the jobs that are not there in the reality. But if they can, I don't know if our technical colleges can be up and running. I mean, people can develop all these soft skills whereby when they graduate, they can easily get self-employed in their own little way and beginning to make their money, instead of everybody just looking for a university certificate that at the end of the day is just not realistic for them to get employed. And the quality of our education is equally very, very important, because I think that's why most of our graduates are not employed, because when you even speak to a so-called university graduate, you begin to wonder what kind of education they have, and that's not making them employable. I think we need to look at that, and I want to believe that if you can work with the Ministry of Education, then you can be liaising with them what area of skill that are required, so that they can work in that line. Thank you very much. That's just my little contribution.
Thank you, Alaji. Thank you for this. It's rather a comment rather than a question. I believe that the Minister of Education is as at the moment, I've seen what is happening in Nigeria and the way to go. And I also believe that many people have raised issues on curriculum that will be adapting moving forward. And of course, you know that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President is very progressive, taking into consideration all the ills that have befallen our society. And looking at the education curriculum is on the top gear. And I believe that Ministry of Education is doing something like that. We have overemphasized the fact that agriculture must go back to school as a compulsory subject. That skills, that the polytechnics that are up and running now should be able to go back to the basic technical education that we know them for. Prior to this time, when we have technical education the way it was. Somebody is coming out of school, the person is already earning money because from school he has started doing carpentry work, he has started doing fixing machines and all that. And I know that's a conversation that is on, and I believe that Ministry of Education will take it as priority, and I know that they have other priorities. Agricultural and technical colleges is the way to go. And I know that a lot has been said about it, and I'm sure that we will just do that and even more than that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for those concise and succinct answers. Thank you so much. I will now hand over to my chief host, J.K. Adebola. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Demeokwe, for that session. I'll move on swiftly now because we've just got only 20 minutes to go now, and we've got two hands up. So I think that will be taken up by Honorable Tosin Olayinka so that we don't belabor our Honorable Minister too much tonight.
No problem.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Our chief host, Barrister J.K. Adebola. And I want to welcome once again our distinguished guest, the Honorable Minister. We must say it's been a lovely evening having you in our midst. And having listened to you, we must commend you for what you did in Ogun State by enforcing law and safety measures, as regards to those foreign companies. Please, we'd like to see more of that. And we wish you more enablement and more power to continue to do what you do. Without wasting our time, I would like to invite Joseph Olutade, and also I would like the other person to get ready. I tell P38, but you will not be called if you don't put your name at your ID. And this is our housekeeping rules. So Joseph Olutade, you have the floor now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sending my greetings to the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment. I am Joseph Olutade. I reside in Abuja and I hail from Osun State. I have two questions to ask, and as it is, I will be asking the fourth question that goes by: is there anything that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration can do to amend the constitution that prolong contracting of staff beyond 2 years to full staff so that majority of citizens can benefit of the various implemented programs by the government leadership under Renew Hope initiatives? That is number one question. And the second question goes by: I like to convey a form of request to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to help the youth look into the Peace Corps and Federal Task Force that President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has refused to sign into implementation for lack administration. I don't know how it can help us to achieve that, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Get that second question. Hello. Hello?
Mr. Oluta.
I did not get the second question. Can he rephrase?
If I can help him, he's talking about National Peace Corps that was about to sign by the past president, and that has now been suspended under President Muhammadu Buhari.
Those ones are matter of law. Let me start from the National Peace Corps. I was in the National Assembly when it was passed. And then they had issues, and those issues, I'm sure, is being handled by government. And so it's not, I know people want to be employed, but if the laws are being looked at and there are issues that need to be sorted out, we should just be patient and allow the security agencies sort their issues so that they'll be able to align under the renewed hope agenda. We will not advise President to override the issues raised by the border security agencies of this Peace Corps. It's what they have to really bring to the table, seek the attention of his president so that he'll be able to hear them out and know what is actually the problem. I know that many people were employed under that scheme, but if it's having issues, I plead that our citizens should be patient. Issues are resolved, because at the end of the day, if they don't cooperate, it's going to cause more damage than good. So it's good that security agencies, when they are formed or when they get people employed, that they should be law abiding and be able to work together. If they don't work together, the whole essence is defeated. So if you're one of the people that was employed under that scheme, I advise that you just be patient until those.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm not sure if the Honourable Minister is still there because it went blank from my end. Can anybody hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Madam, for answering those questions. I would like to call on Honourable Caroline Adelako. Honourable Caroline, you have the floor now. I'm not sure if she's there. Honourable Caroline? Okay. I would like to call on... Hello?
I can't...
Yeah, I guess your network is very bad from your end.
Can you hear?
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead,
I can hear
please.
you.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Onyejeocha Caroline Adelako. I'm calling from London. My question is, how is the Honourable Minister looking into the health and safety of schools? Like here in the UK, we have environmental health officers that go around schools to check the kind of food they produce, and also the school, if is complying with the law, the health and safety part of it. How is the Honourable Minister looking into, I don't know if there is something like that that goes on in Nigeria, that look into food from schools, restaurants, any eating place, that they check what they give to customers and the cleanliness of the restaurant or school. I'm not sure if that is being looked into as well by her department. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. Honourable Minister, over to you, ma. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's online because it goes blank from my hand here. Hello, can somebody hear me?
Yes, it looks like she's got some network issues from her end, but we've got some people looking into that as we speak. We can just go ahead and ask people to ask their questions. We'll note it down so that when next she comes on, then she will fill those questions. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if you have Ogedengbe online. Please, if you're there, you may go ahead to ask your question or contribution. Can somebody please help unmute Ogedengbe Muhammad? I guess he's muted at the moment. Okay.
Hello.
All right, you have the floor now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. We can hear you.
I've been commenting this platform, but the minister is not connected now. I've been asking this my question for quite some time now, even at the inception of this program, on the issue of abrogating dichotomy between HND and BSc. Going to 3 years now, this bill has been in the presidency, waiting for presidential assent. And we don't know what is happening to it since that time. It has been kept there, doing nothing. We don't know what happened. And this thing has been causing issue at the workplace on daily basis. So please, maybe the minister can help us shed more light on it. And it needs for her to communicate, Mr. President, so that they can expedite action on the assent of the bill. That is my area of concern for now.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, please, you have the floor now, ma'am.
I was lost, so I don't know what bill he was talking about.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I had.
Yeah, we're not sure if you had the one of Madam Caroline before I go to his own.
No, I don't. I did.
Yeah, a guest, Honorable Caroline asks, what are you doing regarding health and safety issues in schools and also in restaurants in Nigeria? And also, the second person was asking about the bill for the HND and BSc, that has been put forward, that, the bill has not yet been assented by the president. That's what are they doing about it, and he would like to know how far the bill has gone so far.
Bill on what?
On assenting HND and BSc in Nigeria.
Sorry, it's an HND BSc dichotomy bill.
Dichotomy, yeah.
If I may just come in before the Honorable Minister, please. I think we have already told this gentleman that this issue is for the Minister of Education. Wait until the day we have the Minister of Education, because this is a Minister of Labor and Employment. She has nothing to do with the issue that he's talking about. We have told him a couple of times. So please, Builder Ogedengbe, with due respect, wait until the day we have the Minister of Education, then you can bring this dichotomy of certificate thing you're talking about. They'll be able to discuss with you on that. We have to remain in the context of what we are discussing today. We have the that was why we posted the theme of the day. So whatever question anybody is going to ask, please let's limit it to the theme of the day. Thank you very much. Your Honorable Minister, you are not at liberty to answer that because that has nothing to do with your ministry. Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Are you hearing me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can.
Let me just answer him for this. Number one is there's no guarantee or there's no law saying that every bill that was sent to the president must be assented to. President can decide not to assent to a bill. That's the law. He can decline. So it's not issue of let's know where the bill is so that you know what you can do. There's nothing you can do. Even if he withdraws, even if we don't assent to it. Because there are a lot of things that may seem convenient, but the implication may be also damaging. So experts work on those bills. And there are experts that advise president based on a larger picture that may want what is may be seem popular, not acceptable for assent of Mr. President. I know that the issue of politics or HND and BSc is issue of ranking or like wage or something. So we have to wait until the experts finally gets through it, and then president will do the needful. So the issue of we know what to do, it shouldn't even come up, because it's either you are a PhD holder, an HND holder, or you're a degree holder. Until such that is harmonized, then one cannot really say, I know what to do. It's either you're using this one or you're using this one. You can actually go and do the other and then still get the two. I mean, so those are not really a problem. Then for health and safety at restaurants, eating places, it's not the work of labor ministry. You know, you have jurisdiction. We don't have jurisdiction to go to restaurants. But as Nigerians, if we know any person that is doing unwholesome practice, using items that we know that is injurious to health or damaging to health, and a restaurant that is very dirty, and then people go there to eat because what would they say? Shebi is Nigeria. As Labour Minister, I can alert somebody I know in NAFDAC to go there. So Nigerians should know that there are places that people are eating and it's not good. They can alert NAFDAC to go there and supervise, and then they do the needful. And then for all those places, you have some people that ensure that certain things are done. But I know that some is about substandard at port and maybe inside markets, not really for restaurants, but for restaurants, food and beverages is NAFDAC. So it's NAFDAC jurisdiction to check those places. So our own is factory, industries, and workplaces. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma, for helping to address those questions appropriately. Actually, you've covered the two, and while some are yet to come, I guess those are the last one, actually. At this point in time, I would like to yield the floor back to the chief host. Over to you, sir. Can somebody hear me? I guess there's a network issue.
Yes, okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. Oh, thank you so very much. Yes, we have only 2 minutes to go, and from what I heard, the Honourable Minister had another meeting now that she has to attend to at 6 o'clock. So we have only one hand up. So I will use the floor to Engineer Olabode Jones Ajimijere. You have just 1 minute to ask our minister that question, and she will be leaving immediately. Thank you very much. Let's unmute.
Thank you, Chief Host, Barrister JK. I appreciate for everything. I thank you, Honorable Minister, for always honoring the call of the masses. My question is quickly, speaking from Russia. I want to know,
are you safe? Are you safe in Russia?
I live in Russia over 11 years now to 14 years now.
Are you safe?
Yes, I'm safe, of course. I'm safe. I'm even living from St. Peter's to Moscow to St. Peter right now, but I can't miss the program. Thank you. Yeah. My question is this, though I don't know if eventually connected to the labor much, is a part of the president's promise. I want to see the Nigerians will be taking advantage of those masses by mostly the domestic marketer, foods and everything. I want to ask, how is the president looking fastly on the commodity control that he promised? Because the marketer in Nigeria, they are really taking advantage of the masses, ordinary masses. If there's any way your ministry as labor is connected to that, if we can make it faster. People will buy pure water today as a 50 naira, but before tomorrow it's 150. It's really disgusting. I want the president and the ministry to look into that fast, because Nigerians businessmen are taking advantage of the masses. That is my question. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Again, not again. Honorable Adimijere, I'm afraid it looks like we've lost the network for the minister again now. And, but like I said earlier on, this is the last, we'll be drawing the curtain here because she has another meeting to attend. Honorable Olaye Abraham, please, apologies, we won't be able to take your question. However, you can drop your question on the chat and in the chat on the chat platform, and we'll forward it to the Honorable Minister. So it is on this ground that we will be drawing, because like I said, we have it is always from 4 to 6. Sometimes we overshoot it depending on the availability of our special guests. But unfortunately, our special guest today has another meeting to attend, so we won't be able to take any more questions. So this is where we draw the curtain today. I thank you all for being part of this. It's been an interesting and engaging 2 hours with a special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of State for Labor, Employment and Productivity. And she has been very, very generous with her responses to all our questions, and for which we are all appreciative of our effort, because for those of us who are contacting them, we know it is not easy for them to be able to sit with Nigerians for 2 hours. But since the advent of this administration, every leader we have knocked on their doors have been generous with their time, despite I'll call it crazy schedule that they have. We have all been living witnesses to it right from the day we started. How some of them have. I think when we started with Honorable Ajuri Ngelale, the conference was truncated midway when the president called for him, and upon which he promised he was going to come the following day, which he did. So that tells you how crazy their schedule is every time. So that is why we appreciate them when they come our way, and especially when they spend the whole 2 hours with us. So for that, we remain grateful to our Honorable Minister. Thank you so very much, ma'am, and we wish you all the best. You will always be in our prayers for a successful tenure as the Minister of State. Perhaps maybe in the next dispensation, we would like to see you as a substantive minister. That would be our dream, because you have been so wonderful all day, and for that we remain ever so grateful. So again, it's like I said, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain, and I just can't help but appreciate and acknowledge the efforts of stakeholders who made this Renewed Hope Town Hall virtual conference possible through their wide network of influence and hard work behind the scene. Let me just yield the floor a little bit for Honorable Tosin Olayinka. Please continue for me. I need to answer an important phone call. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for joining as always. We must say that your contribution can never be taken for granted. We appreciate you so much, and we promise you that we are going to bring another viable minister very soon, and our guest that you'll be seeing will be one of the people that you would like to interact with, as we always do for you on this program. So just to keep you on the loop, just watch out, and we'll announce the guest very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tosin Olayinka. I just had to take a phone call now. The reason for that is simply because our Honorable Minister is back on. So I'm just going to use the floor for her now to give us, a last minute, I don't know, maybe thank you or whatever, or maybe words of wisdom on regarding the program. once again, Honourable Minister, thank you so very much for being generous. I know how crazy your time, your schedule is. So for you to spend 2 hours with us, to us, it means a lot. So for that, please accept our appreciation. So we just want the last word from you before we close, finally. Thank you very much, ma'am. Looks like still network problem, still. Oh, Lord. Can the our technical guys please do something about this as fast as we can? Oh God. Just when I thought I had her back. So apologies to all our participants. These things happen sometimes. When you're dealing with technology, you should expect anything. Again, we're still drawing the curtain, but as soon as she's back on again, we will, because I just wanted her to give us, her last words, because it's always been a habit when we have them on for them to at least give us, their parting words, so that we'll have something to go home with. But like my colleague said earlier on, in the next couple of days, we will be coming back to you with the details of our next VVIP. I think she's back on now. Our Honourable Minister is back on now. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for coming back on. I said we just want your last words, ma'am. Just, I don't know, maybe word of encouragement to us or something. Thank you so very much for being back on. I've been back on. Thank you. Please let's unmute her, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, Barrister and the team, I thank you so much for having me, and invite all of you to join hands with Mr. President to work on the renewed hope agenda to make sure that our dreams come true. Wherever you are, be a Nigerian at all times and continue to contribute to the success of this administration. You have a president that is a Nigerian who, in the last 2 days, I read something that he said, why are you people worried when people say things against me? I guess he was talking to me. Daddy, we are worried because we do not want people to believe a lie, and they are lying, and they believe their own lie. Because what some people do is that they know they are lying, and they believe their own lie, and they begin to speak those lies. That's the only thing why we get angry sometimes. But having come from you, and we have decided that renewed hope agenda is a medicine that we take for people who continue to believe their own lies. And we use the renewed hope medication to be able to solve the problem of this country, where liars will learn how to believe on the truth said by people who say the truth, who talk the truth. Because the truth is what will set you free. And on this note, I say may God bless all of us and continue to strengthen all of us to be able to do those things that will promote unity and prosperity of Nigeria and Nigerians. So congratulations to you for hosting me, and I pray that labor, employment, and empowerment, which is LEAP, and by God's grace, we are by end of this month, by the gracious approval of His President, we are going to take a leap forward in the Ministry of Labor and Employment. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Your Honourable Minister. I think I really appreciate your last word, and it will linger in our minds for a long time to come. Thank you so very much for being with us for the last 2 hours. It's been engaging, it's been entertaining, and it's been enlightening. Thank you so very much, ma. So I think it is safe to say will leave you in the hands of God, and you will remain in our prayers every day for you to succeed. Like I said, whilst you are away, I said, you are Minister of State now. I'm hoping when in the next dispensation, we want to see you as your substantive minister so that we can invite you again.
But decide to promote me to another minister.
You will get there, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Foundation for labor. Anybody can work in labor and succeed.
Yes, beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so very much, ma'am. We really appreciate your time. So God bless you, and God bless your family, and God bless the ministry that you are heading. Thank you so very much. So like I said, this is where we will be drawing the curtain. But then I cannot help but add to what she just said earlier on, because the reason why that is the reason why we set up this this platform, because we see the fact that certain elements within the country and outside the country are hell-bent on destabilizing the country with the fake news and outright lies that they are peddling on social media. And there's always this belief that lies told, if allowed to fester for too long, after a while it will begin to morph into the truth, and many people will begin to believe it. So that's why we set up this, so that we'll begin to bridge the gap by bringing our leaders to come and discuss with Nigerians, so that you can hear directly from them about the activities of the government of the day. And so far, so good. Like I said at the beginning of this program, the leadership that we have now, the crop of leadership we have now, are so receptive. Not only are they receptive, they have been lending us their listening ears, telling us what they are doing. And when they see people come with program of ideas, they have always, she too has now invited Alhaji Adams now to come to Abuja, albeit at his own expense. I'm sure he wouldn't mind to do that, because it is all about what you are going to do for your country, not what your country are going to do for you. Because Nigeria is at a state now where, like our minister said, every hand must be on deck. Both the leaders and the led, we must all begin to think of how do we make our country better, and that is what we should be thinking about from now moving forward, so that we will be able to bequeath to the coming generation a better country that we can beat our chest to say, yes, we took a part in making that happen. So on that note, I will say thank you so very much to all our participants and to millions of our followers who are watching both on Ben TV and all of our various social media handles. It's been a beautiful day today as well. It has always been every Saturday. It's always one thing or the other, and she too. I think today again we had another scoop. I wrote it somewhere here where we had a news flash that where she told us that the reason why there's been a delay in the consequential adjustment to the minimum wage is simply because of the committee that they were about to set up. You are hearing it here for the first time. So this is one of the reasons why we always advise you to come to our conference, because every Saturday we always have one scoop or the other. Last week we had about 3 from Honourable Festus Keyamo. Today we had 1, and next week it will be another one. We will, in the next couple of days, we will be coming back to you with the details of our next VVIP. Watch this space. We will come back, because this is what we do, and it is the reason we do what we do is because you guys have always been supporting us every week without fail, both as participants and as viewers, and for that we remain grateful. We don't take that for granted. Every one of you is appreciated. Thank you so very much, and I say God bless you. Nigeria will be better, definitely in our lifetime. Because I want to beat my chest tomorrow and tell my children that this is what I did when Nigeria was having its challenges, and I believe that it is the same for every one of us who are joining us here. So thank you ever so much for being part of this. Make next week's a date. It's going to be either Saturday or Sunday. We will be coming your way. We will never get tired. So long as we have your support, we'll always come. And I believe that our leaders too are always ever ready to come to us and engage with us, so that our people out there will stop believing the lies that has been told to them on social media by unscrupulous elements whose stock in trade is seeking for the destruction of our fatherland, and it shall never happen, not in our lifetime, not even after we are gone. It's never going to happen, because Nigeria is too great to be left alone to some charlatans to destroy. Thank you ever so much, and God bless you. Thank you so much. I remain yours, Joseph Kolaole Adebola, your chief host. Thank you very much.